It's another November to remember for 21 seniors playing for the final time today at Boone Pickens Stadium with a chance at a Big 12 title. And today, the Texas Tech Red Raiders come a-calling as the Cowboys hope to keep their chances for a championship alive. Hi again, everyone. Tim Brando by my side is Spencer Tillman. The goals are really at hand for both teams. The stakes really couldn't be higher.
Well, the math is simple for OSU. Went out and you control your own destiny. You are the Big 12 champions, but it's not going to be easy. You got to go on the road to TCU, and of course, Bedlam. You got to get Oklahoma, who was dominant against Baylor today. And I think on the other side, Cliff Kingsbury is dangling that little carrot out there in front of his guys, bowl eligibility. You've got two difficult chances with Iowa State, of course, and Baylor. If they can do that, they've got a chance to do it, Timmy.
These two teams are going to be playing with a couple of high-powered offenses and magnificent quarterbacks, as these two head coaches were when they began their careers as players before becoming head coaches. Two of 18 men in Division I college football that are coaching at their alma maters. Texas Tech won the toss, elected to receive. Matt Amendola will be kicking it away. Back deep, DeMarcus Felton, Reginald Davis, numbers 2 and 27 respectively, and it'll go right through the end zone for a touchback. And the Red Raiders will begin from their 25-yard line. And let's get a look now at what to watch for when the Texas Tech Red Raiders have the football.
It's a familiar formula. Number 5, Patrick Mahomes. Can he snap that streak in which he's been held in check as a runner at negative 16 yards versus Texas last week? That left bibliography and footnotes, as TCU did as well. And we know that there's a lethal threat. Jordan Burton is the guy that's got to be able to stop him. He's charged with the responsibility of doing exactly what Texas did. We'll see if he can pull a trick.
Justin Stockton is in the backfield. DeLeon Ward, who rushed for 93 yards a week ago against Texas, did not make the trip. He got banged up, was not able to practice as much as they wanted. So it's Stockton that will carry the mail to open this game. And Devontae Averett, number 40, one of the seniors, a redshirt from Detroit, Michigan, made the tackle.
Stocks is about 5'10", 200-pound junior. And, you know, he's a good player, but again, they're going to need some consistency out of him because their number 1 gun not in the lineup.
Yeah, a freshman of some influence who played very well. This is also a patchwork offensive line for Texas Tech today. Justin Murphy couldn't make the trip and forced a lot of adjustments, which they've been making the back half of the season. Stockton forges ahead off the right side behind that line, and Ramon Richards makes the tackle. As you look at Patrick Mahomes, a special talent, still leading the country in passing. Magnificent athletic capability this young man has. Can beat you with his legs as well as his arm.
Mike Gundy yesterday gushed about his ability to avoid rush and elude without taking his eyes downfield. Let's see if he continues that success against the Cowboys.
Third down conversions are 55%, so they're down from their number 1 spot after last week. That pass is incomplete, intended for Ian Sadler, so it's a quick 3 and out for Texas Tech.
One of the things I just noticed on that last play as we take the isolation, it's a trip formation route, the little rub underneath so that you can get open. You got to be able to make those catch. It's early. They're going to have those opportunities in abundance, but they've got to execute on those switch routes, Tim.
Michael Barden will punt it away, had 5 punts against Texas for just under 38 yards an average a week ago. Jalen McCleskey and Barry J. Sanders, if the name sounds familiar, it should. Grad transfer from Stanford. This boot is high and was rushed a bit. As a result, it's going to be a very short kick off the instep. Not much at all on that punt, and it will give Oklahoma State magnificent field position to open. And the Cowboys are going to be almost at midfield as this series gets underway. Only 20 yards on the boot, and what do we have to watch for here?
Well, you know the offense flows through James Washington. He's played 2 games against Tech, and he's caught touchdown passes of 33, 39, 75, and 73 yards. That's absolutely nuts. The Cowboys will have to rely on Justice Nelson to shut him down. This is an assignment he's drawn for 2 consecutive weeks. Let's see if he can do it against number 28.
The freshman Justice Hill, who's been getting the lion's share of playing time with Chris Carson injured for 4 games this year, is in the backfield. And there's a slant caught by Jawan Seals, a young man that's known as much for his blocking as his receiving's got 13 and a first down for Oklahoma State.
They're going fast and tempo. This is what they want to do.
Stretch play for Justice Hill, and he spun down behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard. Jashawn Johnson number 7, coming up from free safety to make the stop. Mason Rudolph, boy, he has really developed, as so many have under Mike Gundy.
Yeah, he was in a platoon role last year, but he has emerged with efficiency. He's got depth delivery. Did have a couple of interceptions last week, but he's bounced back from that. Prior to that, 168 straight completions without an interception.
Zach Veach is the cowboy back, which is the way they call the tight end H-back here in Stillwater, number 86. He's generally a downhill blocker. Blake Jarwin is more the receiver. Rudolph dumps it on the check down. It's a shallow cross to Jelon Seals. It's another first down.
Well, great patience there by Rudolph. First of all, diagnosing it and getting them in the correct play. And then after that, having the patience with just a 3- or 4-man rush to diagnose it and wait it, check it down. Don't try to get the big shot. He knows it's going to be there, but take exactly what Mike Gundy told us yesterday, what the defense gives you.
12-yard gain. So from the 27 now of the Red Raiders, first down. Rudolph looking for the post. It's caught. It's McCleskey. It's touchdown.
Derek Moncrief was sitting back there, number 36, in his safety spot. And here you can see the ISO. He's camped inside, trying to get a little bit shaken on that one. And then he gets turned the opposite direction. Ball placed exactly over the shoulder. There again is the accuracy of Mason. He did a tremendous job of isolating that receiver. And then, of course, getting open on the back end. Rudolph, outstanding job on the pitch and catch.
Overcame a number of turnovers. He had a tremendous run. 8 wins in which the Cowboys trailed in the second half. He also ended what had been a tremendous run of plays without interception. He threw 3 last week. Had a very difficult third quarter. Overcame it to win. McCleskey with his 7th touchdown of the season as Grogan boots through the extra point. Veterans Day weekend. And a salute from the wide receiver, Jalen McCleskey. His dad, Tommy, would be awfully proud. He played for the Saints and the Cardinals in the NFL after his collegiate career. It's in the genes. Didn't take long for the Cowboys with a short field to get into the end zone. 50 yards, just 91 seconds off the clock. McCleskey with his 7th touchdown of the season, and beautifully run offense there by the veteran Mason Rudolph.
Jimmy, I expect both these teams to go fast as long as they're scoring. They're going to try to counter here.
Another touchback as Davis turned it down. And let's get our 4 keys to the game, Spencer. What are they?
Well, Texas Tech won't face a run threat like a Deontay Foreman this week, but the tandem of Chris Carson, who averaged 9.9 against a pretty stingy Kansas State defense, and true freshman Justice Hill, a nice little tandem in running back. Tech needs to tend to the run fits, limit the damage there on the ground so that they won't turn into a juggernaut of a team. And then I think the Cowboys should spy Patrick Mahomes. The last 2 teams, Texas and TCU, had good success to containing this dual threat quarterback when they took an extra man to mirror him. The key is to generate some semblance of a pass rush. Otherwise, there's going to be pitch and catch all day.
Stockton pressed into duty today because of the injury to DeLeon Ward, the freshman who went for 93 yards against the Horns last week. Is stopped for nothing. Devontae Averett, number 40, one of the 21 seniors playing for the final time at Boone Pickens, made the tackle.
Tim, glad you brought up Glenn Spencer, the defensive coordinator. His guys fly around. It was the thing that jumped out at me as I watched film. They're never taking a play off.
Stockton on the delay. Healthy pickup there, which will give them a 3rd and manageable coming up. Averett again making the stop.
You know, one of the things I look for, Tim, about defense is their ability to turn people over. Consistently, year over year, Oklahoma State is among the top 10 teams in the nation in turning people over. And when you can do that in successive years, it speaks to the consistency of the coach and the effectiveness in him to motivate his players to play with that level of consistency. Not an easy task with these millennials.
2nd in the country in 3rd down conversions, yet they're 0 for 2 today. They were 7 of 19 last week, so 7 of their last 21. I think he may have hit the deck too soon.
Yeah, he sure was short.
I think he stumbled ahead about a yard before the line to make. And it will be another 4th down situation coming up.
Well, he clearly gave himself up sliding head first. And again, he pulls that ball down, does Mahomes, and he's sliding, man. He's a full half yard in front of that 1st down mark where he needed to be, and then going to punt this away.
People have surmised back in Lubbock that he's not completely healthy. Both, you know, the shoulder problem to go along with the knee that was injured in the game with Kansas. See, they're talking with Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, he's certainly been dissuaded from running the last week. A negative 16 yards rushing. When he did take off, they made him pay for it. The Texas Longhorns did.
High end over end punt taken by Barry J. Sanders. Graduate transfer and son of the immortal Barry of Heisman fame in 1988. Magnificent day. Not a cloud in the sky in Stillwater. Temps are right around 70. Pistol Pete is pleased. It may take a while today, so settle back, folks. Justice Hill is in the backfield. The outstanding freshman. Play fed to him. Ball tipped into the air. Nice work defensively by Malik Jenkins, number 41, to knock that one down with his big mitt. They had 3 blocks of Buechele a week ago in the game with Texas that we had.
Yeah, Malik was particularly active, but again, he showed you at that 6'1", 225 frame. He's got a vertical jump. He can disrupt it. He did a couple of times last week.
2nd and 10.
Getting in the right play. Nice.
Curl caught by Lacey, number 15, and down the sidelines he goes. Malik Jenkins shoved him out. Lacey, the junior from DeSoto, Texas, with 33 yards on that one.
Well, Mason Rudolph got him in the correct play. That's the first thing, and again, got a numbers advantage away, and they're going fast now, trying to take advantage of this single safety look. Should be a couple of plays open.
That's Washington. His first catch of the day, and he gets it down to the 20. There's not a lot of foul territory there, so if you get pushed, you could go right into the padding right in front of the grandstand area here.
Yeah, Justice Nelson, the guy there. As you look at this offense, there's 6 in the FBS. Is Oklahoma State 343 yards.
Washington, little wide receiver screen. His ability after the catch is fantastic. Almost like a running back converting to wide receiver. He's got that kind of capability.
Yeah, and he's got high pockets too. When you hear that phrase, you're talking about a high-hipped guy that really looks good in his uniform when he runs. Coach Gundy was gushing. In fact, yesterday he's a sprinter. He's a hurdler. The guy does a lot.
Play fake to Hill, and Mason Rudolph for the touchdown. Well, they bit on that play fake. Big time.
Well, it's rare that they put Mason Rudolph in this situation, but the numbers advantage told him did. The defensive end crashed, and you can see 4 guys to 3. That math works in favor of the Cowboys, and believe me, they're hell-bent for election early in this one, Timmy. No slow start, down 13 last week against Kansas State on the road, which eventually ended up being a very well-earned road victory, but today they're coming out screaming.
Simple zone read concept that was read nicely by Rudolph, and he takes it in for the touchdown. So even after the reversal, there's no stopping the Cowboys on their senior day. The junior leader at quarterback, Mason Rudolph, makes it a 2-score game. Reginald Davis is back deep along with DeMarcus Felton, number 27. Amendola gets it away. 3 straight touchbacks that he's delivered. He's got a big leg. Big leg. There's been a lot of dominance in this series. 7 straight wins now for the Cowboys. Beautiful out pattern to Derek Williams. This guy can really get it done. Tough, physical, has some speed to go with it. A 14-yard gain, and the Red Raiders now in business at the 39.
And that was Pipkins again. They flipped him the corner the other side, and Williams just stood him up and just spun him around, and with a nice upfield move. That's NFL caliber move right there now.
DeMarcus Felton in the backfield, number 27. And Mahomes.
And he kept it.
Yes, he did. down to the 33-yard line. So quality gain on first down. 2nd and 4 coming up. We'll call it 2nd and 5. Justin Phillips, number 19, the redshirt sophomore, made the stop.
Mahomes should have threw that ball to him in that play, and the only thing I can accredit it to is probably he was confused by the coverage. This 3-man front really making a big difference and causing him consternation in his reads.
Felton inside the 30 to the 29, very close to a first down. Kurt Tucker, number 12, making the tackle.
And Justin Phillips, number 19, in there as well. And around the ball, Glenn Spencer's stop unit, but again, they're moving the ball down the field as this Texas Tech team methodically.
It pops free for Felton. Boy, a quick burst inside the 15-yard line. Kenneth Edison Magruder, number 3, with a saving tackle.
Edison Magruder, number 3, is not there. He hits his head on the goalpost. It's a nice shoestring tackle, and they're playing fast.
Big time to Cutie, and Kiki gets it down to the 10.
Again, Edison Magruder, number 3, on an island out there. They're working on him, Timmy. Substituting their 3 front down linemen, trying to get pressure, fresh bodies in there to get to this quarterback that's moving the ball down the field on him.
2nd and 6. Felton remains the setback. We haven't called Tony Brown's number, nor have we called Cameron Batson 13. They are both flanked to the bottom of your screen. Little out pattern for Cantrell. Outstanding open field tackle in space by Ramon Richards, number 7.
Yeah, Richards was on an island. That's exactly how you earn your keep there. The nice outcut, a basic play, great leverage, head on the outside, stopped it for a negligible gain.
But a first down and goal. And here's Mahomes, and he goes in standing up, just like that. Texas Tech has answered after that critical 4th down conversion.
And Timmy, I think this is the most effective way for Texas Tech to score. Moving the ball down the field, you can see the zone read, the cross action, got him with a lead blocker, the numbers game in your advantage. Mahomes untouched in for the score.
Yeah, Mason Reed, 29, the junior from Cisco, Texas, made an outstanding block, which really freed up Patrick. His 11th rushing touchdown of the year. Hatfield for the extra point. Well, when these two get together, it's always fun, even if one team has been dominant. Probably about 120 points and 4.5 hours of football. 14-7 our score. Oklahoma State with the lead. 2:14 remaining in the opening quarter. There you see the drive and how Mahomes handled it in the air. 4 of 4 for 41 yards.
It's okay to trade points, but again, if you're going to get them slow, you got to make sure points per possession are going to be a major factor. Every time they get the ball, they've got to think score.
Youngster from Tulsa, Oklahoma, number 27, out of Booker T. Washington High School.
Hornets.
And he'll carry it on the stretch play. Right on cue, ahead for 8. Should be 2nd and 2 coming up. Keenan Ward, number 15, making the tackle.
That's a great play by Keenan Ward, but again, showing you some of that speed. Booker T. Washington Hornets, they're proud of him. Quality kid.
Hill again ahead for a first down. Malik Jenkins made the stop.
Nice football play by Malik Jenkins, but Hill is a nice seasoned young talent out of Booker T. Washington. They'll be able to help this ball club down the stretch.
Too much room given to Chris Lacey. That's just an easy pitch and catch for 12 yards. And already they're just shy of midfield. DJ Polite-Bray made the stop. Hill remains the setback. Washington down at the bottom of your screen. Rudolph right on time. It's Lacey again. Finally thrown out of bounds near the Texas Tech 20.
Keenan Ward was on the back end defending, and Lacey just went and got that ball and stole it from him. 15 against 15.
He's getting rid of the ball so quickly. That's a 32-yard gain. Now, Texas Tech cannot get to him simply because he's getting rid of it so quickly. They have had the one sack. Wide open is the tight end. The Cowboy back, Zach Veach, known more for his blocking than his receiving. Blake Jarwin has more the reception pedigree. 18 yards for Veach. And they go quickly again. Rudolph stops shy of the end zone.
That's an added dimension for this Oklahoma State Cowboy team. The tight end, you mentioned Jarwin Blake, and Jarwin is an outstanding guy. You can use him as a running back, a tight end. He puts so much stress on defense in terms of matchups. This is that element of surprise that's going to be very dangerous for anybody that has to face this Oklahoma State team the rest of the way out.
Yeah, they use 4 of them. Blake Jarwin is the starter, and Zach Veach will come in for him, and then Keenan Brown and Britton Abbott basically perform the same services as the number 3 and 4 options. Carson is now in the game, more the power back here, and he'll take it into the end zone for the touchdown.
This straight power football right here, as you said, this is the big back. Despite the fact he doesn't get his shoulders down, he gets them down enough with a push up front to usher him in. Carson does a nice job of paying it off for the score. If they're going to trade with this Oklahoma State team, they've got to do something a lot faster than what they're doing and responding to Texas Tech.
Well, this young man, Grogan, 4 weeks ago broke the Oklahoma State scoring record, passing Dan Bailey. That's the 5th rushing touchdown for Carson, but they got right on the front porch with Mason Rudolph's arm. First, it was Chris Lacey, his 3rd catch. And then big Zach Veach running that cowboy route. And it's 21-7. 21-7 our score. Mason Rudolph is just lighting it up. That drive, 7 plays, 75 yards, just a minute 53 off the clock. And Amendola once again boots it big time. Not even a chance for Reginald Davis to take it out. Here's Felton ahead for 3, maybe 4 yards to the 29-yard line. Stopped by Gerald Owens, number 93.
Without DeLeon Ward, they don't have a smaller back, someone that's a kind of an off-pace back that can give them what they want, not just as a running back, but as a receiver coming out of the backfield.
Well, we've come to the end of the first quarter. Cowboys defense has been stout. Texas Tech has been living up to their image, and that's not good. They got to find a way to stop the bleeding when we come back to open the second here in Stillwater. We open the second quarter here on FS1. A magnificent day in Stillwater, Oklahoma, alongside Spencer Tillman, Tim Brando. Listen, Patrick Mahomes in the first quarter only threw for 41 yards.
Yeah.
They got more yardage on the ground without their star running back, DeLeon Ward, of a week ago than they do in the air. What do they have to do to change that?
Well, the bottom line is it's about points per possession in this conference, and particularly against these 2 teams. The way you respond is you got to match. Your receivers have got to get out there, and defensively, you got to get off the football field. 4 drives, 3 TDs, points per possession, 21 points, 181 total yards for Oklahoma State. Texas Tech has got to answer.
I don't think that the wide receivers, really short of Derek Willis, number 11, is getting a lot of separation from Oklahoma State secondary. Richards and Lampkin, Pipkins and company have done a pretty good job. DeMarcus Felton had that 15-yard burst, which helped them on that drive after the 4th down conversion. Longest run from scrimmage on the day. This time on 1st down, he gets ahead for 7. That'll help some as Jordan Burton, number 20, made the tackle.
That was a nice heavy run by Felton there, weaving his way through for a good, nice 1st down gain.
Stockton in motion, and now Mahomes loads up and looks for and finds Jonathan Giles. You know, we haven't called his name. Sadler missed one in the open field a bit earlier. You know, guys like Jonathan Giles and Cameron Batson have got to make plays today.
Yeah, and Darius Curry was there, and they found a little soft spot over that zone. I think it was a single safety look that they rolled to. Too deep now, but the opposite look just a moment ago. And there's a soft spot in between that rolled up corner and the safety.
Stockton now on the stretch. How about that?
That's
inside
nice.
the 20 to the 19. So having been stymied early, 3 straight 3-and-outs, the Red Raiders now getting some rhythm. Trey Flowers the stop.
And they're working the total width of the field here, and that's how you put stress on a defense. You serve up exactly what they've been doing to you. Make that defense run from sideline to sideline for a nice game.
The stress levels on defensive coordinators in this league
is high,
unlike any other. We're just complimenting Glenn Spencer, and he has done a marvelous job here for Gundy. But you're going to give up a lot of yards and some points in this league. I don't care how good you are, how long you've been in the business. Mason Reed is coming to the game, number 29. Mahomes' pass is to Cantrell underneath. Jordan Burton again, number 20 with the stop, but not before he gets it inside the 10 for a 1st and goal.
It was Lampkin, the corner, that settled down on that play. Boy, it's really interesting how these little nondescript routes open up the coverage behind you, and it's really good to see the design of both these sharp minds on the offensive side.
Stockton down to the 4. It's at this stage of the field where Glenn Spencer, the defensive coordinator, believes his team has really improved. Get the job done inside the red zone. When the depth of the field shrinks on Mahomes, that's when it's advantage defense.
But see, here's the irony with this group right here. They're about 75% scoring touchdowns once they get inside the red zone, but it doesn't equate to their win-loss record.
Cantrell, touchdown.
Timmy Mahomes and this Texas Tech Red Raider offense is an anomaly. When they get down here, they're virtually impossible. It was the late Bill Walsh, one of the great West Coast offensive schemes that put the benchmark at 80% touchdowns once you get in the red area. This Texas Tech team is at 76%, yet their win-loss record doesn't reflect it, but you can see the execution is almost flawless down here. It's amazing to me why they're not winning more games. Except when you look at the defense.
I'm glad you threw that one in. I was about to recite their defensive stats as a team. I've done that too many times. I don't want to be too hard on defensive coordinator David Gibbs. Cantrell on the receiving end, the 24th touchdown pass for that young man, Patrick Mahomes. What a player. 11:23 remaining in the first half. The Cowboys lead down to 7 as the Red Raiders answered the bell as the second quarter opened, and you look at the numbers per game this season. You touched on how outstanding he is. First in total offense, passing yards. Just third in passing touchdowns. We just mentioned he had his 24th. And he gets so much done on his own. Cliff Kingsbury loves the kid. He said that yeah, he does want to please, but there are times, because Cliff is a quarterback and not that far removed from being one, he wants to make sure whatever it is they run is something he's comfortable with. If it's not something he wants to do, then Cliff will not ask him to do it. He understands that aspect of the position. And Barry Sanders will bring it up to the 25-yard line on 3rd and 3. Once again, it seals. His size and strength, the difference there in fighting off Polite Bray. Huge gain down the sidelines for 37 yards.
Well, Polite Bray just got out physical on that play, and again, it's isolated man coverage on that perimeter as they go fast to try to double up in some of these explosive plays that defines them in the last few weeks.
Two different styles of running, and here goes the freshman. He's got it inside the 10 to the 8-yard line before being shoved out of bounds.
Hey, Jarwin did a nice job coming in there and then sealing that from the inside out. Trips formation now. They're going to go pace and tempo. Let's see if they can get a nice little zone read inside.
Hill twisting, turning, churning. Touchdown.
Cowboys down here love to go trips. to the field, the near side in this case, and come back with a little zone read, playing the numbers with leverage, the ability to run through a hand tackle there. That's nice physical effort to get in for Hill for the score. Really like his style, Tim. Running with great pad level, intentionality to get down here and to pay it off.
6 carries for 35 yards, and he had 17 of the 35 on the last 2 runs.
It's 5 drives now, resulting in points, touchdowns.
You think they'd like to have that interception back? Think it would have mattered to
Yes,
David Gibbs if that ball had been caught by Deshaun Johnson? You got to give up yards in pinball football. That's what we have in the Big 12. You get your hands around it as a defender, you better catch it. Otherwise, you're going to be made to pay. I wish I could get that, what he's doing right now, to my Fitbit so I could get credit for it. 8 plays, 75 yards, another fantastic drive, and Hill, 17 of the last 35 yards on the ground from him to get them into the end zone. Reginald Davis again back deep. Amendola has not given them a chance so far today, but this is his first boot in this quarter, and it looks like he'll
here. Well, we just let it go.
Another touchback.
Wow.
DeMarcus Felton in the backfield for Mahomes, who opens this drive. Just 11 yards on that gain, but opens this drive 28 passing yards away from 4,000. So he gets 11 there, so he's to 17 away from hitting the 4,000 mark on the season. It has been remarkably a different kind of play selection day for Cliff Kingsbury. The ground game, and even without DeLeon Ward, has been effective. And this young man, DeMarcus Felton, has run it very well. Moncrief made the stop there. A great gain on first down, so 2nd and 5. Everything in the playbook now for Mahomes. Bootleg action, and he throws it for the sidelines. It's Jonathan Giles. They'll give him credit for, they're going to say out of bounds at midfield.
He's disappointed about that. Giles thought he was in on that. He doesn't really contest it.
That would have gotten Mahomes beyond the 4,000 mark on the season.
Yeah, let's take a look at it here. He had those feet. I think that the right toe was down, Timmy. Wow.
This one right here will be perfect to show us.
That's control.
I agree with you. I thought he carried it. I agree with you. But we can respectfully disagree.
Absolutely.
Part of the game. Underneath, Cantrell. Doesn't matter now. He's got the first down up to the 47-yard line. A little extracurricular going on between some of the linemen in the aftermath of that back in the backfield.
Yep.
It looked like Vincent Taylor, 96, was doing a little woofing after the fact. No flags were thrown. I think the offensive lineman Bailey Smith, 71, was the one jawing with him.
Yeah, Ashton Lampton should have been John. He's the one that got beat on the play, but it was a nice job of executing and moving the ball down the field.
1st and 10 with the ball at the 48. 9 yards away from 4,000 on the season for Mahomes in the air. Will he get it here? Looping it high into the air and incomplete. Intended for Cameron Batson, number 13.
Usually they're going to leave one rusher or one blitzer for Mahomes. And again, he felt him coming and just got rid of that ball. But it's a smart heads-up play. He'll live with that down in 2nd and 10 for another shot at it. Fresh set of bodies comes in up front for Oklahoma State and Glenn Spencer's stop unit.
Kurt Tucker, the late one to get set up. Looks as though he's trying to check with Jonathan Giles, number 9, who is a primary target in these kinds of situations in the slot. There's the quick slant to Cutie. And he's about a yard, maybe 2, shy of the first down. Ashton Lampkin, number 6, made the stop. And that gets him to 4,000 even.
That's a beautiful play of executing, number 1, with the shoulders upfield to affect his read cues and just to stun those linebackers and the safety just enough so that they're not jumping that route and he can complete it quickly. That was an excellent pitch and catch by Patrick Mahomes.
Seth Dagey and Graham Harrell were the other 2 that got beyond 4,000. 3rd down and 5. Underneath on the check down, it's Jonathan Giles. Forward progress will net the 15. That's 6 yards and a first down.
Have a red there on the stop again. They're working the underneath routes. Number 40 stuck his nose in there, and he's been active. But again, I'm not sure that's the best thing against this group, because you're going to find some mismatches underneath with these smaller receivers working through their checking down. At some point, they're probably going to go over the top of him.
1st and 10 from the 15. Well, now both teams have had chances for turnover opportunities go awry. That pass to Cantrell is a little low, still catchable, and falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Cantrell's got to catch that. That ball was low in a way, but got to make that play down here in the red zone. Everything gets compressed. Gets really difficult to execute with efficiency, but the good teams, which they are, down in the red area, we talked about their 76% completion percentage in terms of scoring and finishing off with touchdowns down here. You can't keep that number up there that high, missing those balls.
Stockton and Felton both in the backfield. Stockton now splits out to the bottom of your screen. On 2nd and 10, on the cross, it's Willies. And he's just shy, I believe, of the first down by about a half yard. 3rd down and short coming up at the 6-yard line of Oklahoma State.
Kasi Akeem at linebacker was trying to defend on that play, but again, another sizable gain in the red area.
And Morales will follow him off the left side, and he gets the first down. So it should be 1st and goal coming up.
Yeah, you're right. Morales is the stalwart at the center position there, number 51, and he's the brains up front. A heavy amount of this, what they do offensively, is put on his shoulders to execute down here. Particularly, all of the line calls go through him first.
Quick wide receiver screen. It's actually Stockton, and he gets inside the pylon for the touchdown. They took the running back, flanked him out, and go Bubblicious. And Kingsbury is all smiles.
Even in this constricted space, you can still get them. You can see the bodies trying to sort it out here.
Look at them.
They're working, man, trying to look like ants out there trying to get in position, but that's the effect of this spread formation, an old basketball term, and it is kind of like basketball on grass. The ball always moves faster than the body. Those guys can't get in position fast enough.
Hatfield's extra point. And we're back to a 1-score game. Stockton with his 2nd touchdown reception of the year. Back and forth we go. Put it in the air. There is absolutely no denying these two teams, when they get it, know what to do with it. Right now, Texas Tech, look at those last 3 possessions. That's pretty effective. We were just commenting as the quarter began that they had struggled, only 41 yards in the air from Mahomes. I think once they got the consistency in the ground game going, it was look out. And that's what's happened in the 2nd. They've been in total command. Mason Rudolph on the comebacker for Seals. And he's going to be stopped at the 47-yard line. Gain of 7, 2nd and 3 coming up.
Yeah, Paul Banks defending on that play. And again, this pitch and catch, we're playing this zone soft coverage with the corners.
Hill, good penetration. He may have gotten a half yard. That's about it. Andre Pipkins, number 9, got through there. The big nose had that huge fumble recovery that helped give Texas Tech a chance at the end last week. Made the stop. Senior transfer from Kansas City. Young man that had been at Michigan, had some knee injuries. Got a 2nd chance and has performed admirably for David Gibbs' defense. 3rd down and 2 coming up. Hill remains the setback. And they go the other way to McCleskey. That ball is dropped and picked up. It's Chris Williams that has it. That's going to be ruled a fumble and return. The ball was live. McCleskey lost it. Then was popped pretty well, and Chris Williams, youngster from Dallas, Texas, the senior, picked it up and went the other way.
For the 2nd week in a row, David Gibbs' team pulls up significant turnovers in a crucial situation to help his team out down the stretch. This after score, that's Brinks down there on the ground. The ball comes out clearly.
Banks hit him, knocked it free, and it was Chris Williams that scooped it up. There's 28. Got him on the shoulder. He was sandwiched by he and Stringer. First turnover of the game for either team. And that pass is caught by Jonathan Giles, and he's got it inside the 30 to the 28 of Oklahoma State. Under 2 minutes remaining in the opening half. Down early, 14-0. Texas Tech's got the machinery in position now, and Felton gets it all the way down to the 16-yard line.
Jeff Carr, the cornerback, number 20, was coming up out of that position. Well, they got to really be careful on the edge. When they're going pace and tempo, they've got to really feel those run fits.
17 and 12 yards on the last couple of totes. Felton remains the setback. Cantrell, who had the touchdown catch a moment ago, number 14, down at the bottom of your screen. Cameron Batson, 13, is in the slot. Mahomes decides to keep it, and he jitterbugs his way inside the 10 to about the 5. Justin Phillips made the tackle. He may have actually gotten inside the 5.
He is so good at escaping. On that time, Oklahoma State had what they call a port side charge. Everybody's coming to the left. He naturally flows to the right, away from the pressure for a sizable gain. This kid is incredible.
So first and goal from the 4. And again, Cantrell, Batson, and Cutie are the wide receivers to the bottom. Mahomes decides to keep it himself on the read and is stopped behind the line of scrimmage at the 5. Jordan Stearns, the senior from Cobb, Texas, number 13.
Even though Stearns was there, Mahomes made the correct read. That was the read that he needed to make on the previous series. Again, when that end dictates it and he comes down, you got to pull that ball out or leave it in, as the case may be. He's got to keep his read.
Formation has not changed, Spencer. Second and goal.
Switch.
Mahomes just gets rid of it. That was well defended. They did not get what they wanted. I hear what you're saying. You were hoping for a switch route, which is another way correct of saying pick.
Yep,
that's
exactly
what you were asking for there.
Absolutely. They had an opportunity to get that pick down there. Dylan Cantrell was down there with an opportunity to get the pick. But again, when they get off the ball and they're playing more of a catch technique, it takes a while to sort the pick out. Guys don't commit to it. When they get bunched up, it's a lot easier to get the read quicker from the quarterback standpoint.
Third and goal.
Oh, big fella out here.
78 is eligible, and look at that.
Wow.
The formation got it done.
Yep.
It's a touchdown. Completed. Third touchdown pass of this quarter to a player that is not on the numerical or the alphabetical roster.
Let's see what's going on right here, Timmy. Again,
boy.
There's a lot they didn't tell us before this game started about who was going to be doing what. He just slips out again, just left him unguarded. And he's grateful for the opportunity.
That's the second time that's happened to us this year. Clayton Hatfield will go for the extra point. well, coming up, the State Farm halftime show with Mike Hill, Dave Wanstadt, Robert Smith, and Matt Leinart. Should be a lot of fun, and we're going to take you there right now. The score is tied at 28. I'm going to look up and see if I can find some more guys that might have made the trip. Fellas, take it away. We welcome you back at halftime here at Boone Pickens Stadium. It's Oklahoma State and Texas Tech deadlocked at 28. Hello again, everyone. Tim Brando alongside Spencer Tillman. Well, we've seen just about what we thought we'd see with two incredible quarterbacks. Everything we anticipated and then some, no question about it. Texas Tech will kick it away to open the second half. Barry Sanders is back deep. And this one will go all the way through the end zone for a touchback. The one turnover was crucial. And there were opportunities for both teams to have one more, and they couldn't come up with it. There you see the stats on Rudolph, who, in keeping with a great tradition, has been magnificent. And the youngster Justice Hill has been very productive with 40 yards. Chris Lacey has been targeted 3 times for 78 yards today. Haven't heard much from James Washington because of the job that Justice Nelson, which you said was going to be something to really watch for, number 31 down at the bottom of your screen, and he's checking Washington here on first down from the 25. Right on cue, Washington does have it in front of Nelson out to the 40-yard line, and it's a first down.
They've been able to contain Washington, playing again a guy over the top, and it's kind of like an umbrella coverage. And Washington, historically, over the 2 games, we've talked about the explosive plays that he's had. It has been marginalized because of the umbrella coverage by Texas Tech.
Washington incomplete. Challenging Justice Nelson again, and he was there to answer.
Well, that play was made possible again by Hill, the youngster out of Booker T. Washington, again showing you patience and poise to hit that edge, and then showing you some of that speed. You know, Booker T wears the same colors, that orange and black. Boy, what you say, Hornet, working that sideline for some plus yardage.
Washington, that ball hit him the wrong way, and I think his hand got turned back, maybe his thumb. He's very, very much in pain, as they tend to him down there, so we'll keep an eye on him. 2nd and 10. Over the middle and caught. Lacey again, his 4th grab of the day, down to the 39 of Tech. Jashawn Johnson makes the stop, a gain of 22.
Kason Allen was in a trail technique there and got caught in his hip pocket. Big gainer.
Hill to the 22-yard line. Jashawn Johnson again, another saving tackle.
Mike Yursich, the offensive coordinator, painting this field from left to right in a very impressive fashion.
We get the 5-6 yard chunks on first down. It opens up the playbook for Mason Rudolph. Stringer coming in there to help out. After the gain of 4, we'll call it 2nd down and 6.
Youngster looked like he recovered pretty good. That's a nice way to shake it off and get inside that red area where they're so prolific.
Chris Carson is checked back in. Hill had to be gassed a little bit after all those quick bursts. So it's Carson's turn. The senior from Georgia, touchdown.
We used to line these up and call them based on the coast. If you're going to the right side, it's New York or Boston. The stretch play on the outside, he does a nice job of reading that play and moving up the field. There's Carson avoiding Jashawn Johnson on the outside, the linebacker that had leverage. That's a nice run and score. We're just getting started, Tim.
That young man blew out his left knee as he was making through his senior year at a storied high school in the Atlanta area. Had to forego a commitment, wound up going to Butler Community College in Kansas, then got the opportunity to come here. The youngster from Parkview Prep is worthy of his moment in the sun on senior day. 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Oklahoma State secures the lead again. With Spencer Tillman, Mike Pereira back in our Los Angeles studios. Tim Brando, happy to have you with us. 7 plays, 92 yards. Culminating with that touchdown run from Carson after Hill had done much of the damage on the ground leading up to it. Justice had 3 big runs. Carson really got in there to give him a blow. Reginald Davis is back deep awaiting this kick. And yet again, you know, those aren't getting that deep into the end zone, and he's not even attempting to come up with them. Stockton. Not much on first down, maybe a yard.
Oklahoma State front kind of shoring up a little bit, playing stout. Stockton not finding much running there, and Everett and company with their run fits putting up a fight.
2nd and 9. Quick out intended for Derek Willies. He could not come down with that one. It was thrown a little bit out in front and a bit low.
You know, Lampkin defending on that play, and that ball was low and away. And Mahomes Wish he had that one back again.
We have not seen as yet, Spencer, that incredibly spectacular play by Mahomes. He's usually good for 2 or 3 of them during the course of any game.
I think it points to what you mentioned earlier. I'm not so sure how 100% healthy he is.
Yeah. On 3rd and 9, drops that one in, and it's knocked away. Cantrell, the intended receiver. Outstanding defensive work by Justin Phillips.
Phillips was back there. You can see again just a 3-man rush. That window closed tight. Phillips did a nice job of closing in on that very, very quickly.
He had some alligator arms too, though.
Yeah, he did. You know, he had the high heels on going across there. But
he knew he was going to get hit.
Ramon Riches was also there in the back end as well.
McCleskey and Sanders are back deep as Barden boots it away again. Outstanding roll to go along with this one. Well, Michael Barden's had a pretty good couple of weeks, right? 2 converted fake punts, and that one goes for 57 yards. Always entertaining when these two get together. I'm not sure that you'll need 70 to win today. Maybe 65 and a half. 35-28 our score. 6:40 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Rennie Childs is in the game at running back number 23. It's wide open for him. Ja'Shawn Johnson made the stop. It's another first down. 20 yards for the senior from Cypress High in Houston.
Yep, he's a good one. 208 pounds, and he's built low to the ground. Finds a nice little void, and they're going fast to take advantage of it.
Well, it's McCleskey again. Short of the turnover, he's had a very productive day. Justice Nelson the stop, a 12-yard gain there.
Found a defensive end buzzing to the flat. That was a steal.
Out of the shotgun, Childs again. Gets to the 36, so a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Luke Stice on the tackle. Zach Spavital, the linebackers coach, has got a group of young guys that are undersized that are doing everything they can to haul down guys that are larger than they are once they get into the Texas Tech perimeter. 2nd down and 5 after a 5-yard gain. Justice Hill is back in the game at running back. Stice piercing through that time for a loss.
Stice with a nice open field tackle. Again, the only thing wrong with that one, he had his head on the inside, but you don't get any more textbook than that. Penetration will destroy the execution of a play like that. Stice playing on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. You're going to see him knife in right through there. Tremendous job. Knew he had help and leverage on the outside. It's a great football play.
3rd down and 6. The ball at the 39-yard line of Texas Tech. Looping it for Washington to the back shoulder, and he's got it. There's a lot of jousting going on there between he and Nelson. He created some space for himself.
Yeah, he really did.
22-yard gain.
It's just field presence, the release, the physical release, and again, understanding where you are on the field between the numbers. Gave himself an allowance of an additional 10 yards between the numbers and the sideline for error. That's just a tremendous effort by a veteran player with great athleticism and field presence.
I like the no call there, don't you?
Yeah, I do like it. I mean, again,
it's just football.
Absolutely.
1st and 10. From the 17. Nice cutback by Carson. Gets those rugged yards between the tackles. Malik Jenkins made the stop.
And he made Ja'Shawn Johnson miss there in open field. But again, showing you that kind of ability to move in traffic. And Jenkins was that last stop there to prevent him from heading to the end zone.
2nd and 2. Cowboy back is Veach. He's lined up right in front of Carson. They go heavy left. Well, had a problem with the snap controlling it, and that's just going to turn into a negative play for Mason Rudolph as Ja'Shawn Johnson comes in there. He had a little difficulty getting the handle on that.
You know, Mason's got to be, first of all, he's got to seat the ball, but he cannot become his own blocker. I know what he's trying to do, but two things. The running back has got to understand what's just happened to his quarterback and protect him and become a lead blocker. Mason's got to go down and, first of all, seat the ball first and protect himself.
So 3rd down and 3. The line to make is the Texas Tech 7. Just inside the 7. Hill is stopped in his tracks. Jenkins again there to wrap him up. May have actually lost a little yardage, about a half yard or so.
And watch Malik Jenkins feel coming down on his 3 technique inside as a stand-up guy, working right down the line of scrimmage to shut that play down.
Well, that is a bit of a win for this Texas Tech defense to hold them to 3. Grogan comes in. His career-long 47 yards. He's only has to navigate 27 with this one. Look at those numbers, though. Pretty consistent throughout his career. Leading scorer all time. Right through. So the lead is 10, but the Red Raiders hang tough inside the red zone. Stopping Mason Rudolph and company with the help of one errant snap. That guy right there is very happy to have seen only 3 come from that lengthy drive.
It's not the equivalent of breaking serve, but when you know both these teams are capable of scoring at will, that's a win on that last possession.
Reginald Davis does field this one and gets it out to the 20-yard line. So good to have you aboard, Anthony. Quick look in for Cutie. And he's ahead to the 25-yard line. So again, Texas Tech, when they have been effective today, most of that in the second quarter, they got quality yards on first down. Quentin White remains in the backfield.
Yeah, the quick pass game has really been their ticket today. And we've not seen a lot of those deep downfield passes, but we've certainly seen a lot of underneath stuff.
Mahomes drops it on the check down to Cutie for a first down beyond the 30. Jossie Hakeem with the stop.
Hakeem working from his linebacker position made a nice stop there. But again, the consistent theme of these coverages doing the job so that these linebackers are now in position to make plays on 3- and 4-yard catches.
Oh, it's a little reverse.
Nice.
Back to Mahomes and then back to a wide open receiver. The kitchen sink from the Texas Tech sidelines. You got to give Cliff Kingsbury a lot of credit. That's Mason Reed, number 29, on the receiving end.
That's the fullback again. That was a low development play, but 2 things made it work for Cliff Kingsbury. It was his quarterback heads-up play as they go pace and tempo to get rid of that ball with pressure in his face.
24 yards on the game. Now Mahomes throwing it for the corner, incomplete. Cantrell, the intended receiver, being knocked around by Trey Flowers in coverage.
Yeah, Mason Reed is the fullback. You're going to see him kind of trickle out there late, trying to be a little bit sneaky, but Mahomes had pressure in his face. If he didn't have pressure, maybe Reed is up the field, up the sideline on a wheel route and continues on from some additional yardage. But as it was Mahomes making the best of a difficult situation.
Yeah, this is fun. It's really a lot of fun to watch what they're doing. Just to hang in this game, to make it, is it? Whatever it takes to win the game, you know that Kingsbury and company are going to do it. They know their deficiencies and they play around them as best they can. Mahomes, beautifully done. That's Mason Reed again. Shoestring tackle made inside the 10 at the 7 by Jordan Stearns. Another 23 yards this time for Reed.
A lot going on in that play with Quentin White Jr., who came in at the running back position, gave a nice block to allow Mahomes to escape and continue to extend that play.
Got 217 yards now. Yeah. And there's Mahomes. He wants it. He got it. Touchdown. For the extra point now, Clayton Hatfield. And now suddenly that defensive stand by Texas Tech, holding Oklahoma State to a field goal, matters. Really does. Patrick Mahomes is in rhythm right now, partner. Sanders is back deep. Will take it from his one.
Barry J. Sanders on
This team is interested in that, and there again is Rudolph for Washington. He will take it post to post, touchdown.
And they've been laying dead for that one for a long time. They've been keeping him isolated and then finally got him to the wide side of the field on a post route. Again, Justice Nelson, assigned the responsibility of their most prolific player, got burned on that one big time. Washington shows you his speed, ability to separate. Again, Nelson's not slow, man, but he just walked away from him there on the big end.
Rogan with the extra point. Listen, Justice Nelson had done a solid job all day long, but at some point, and you're in man coverage, this guy's going to get a big play at some point.
Again, part of it is just how did the anatomy of it, the play action away, gives us an opportunity against single coverage here. No deep help in the middle. Oklahoma State 264 yards in this quarter. Washington a big chunk of it on that play, and the horses are riding, and Washington is scoring. I'm telling you, he's something special. Number 28 is on fire.
You know, they talk about what a wonderful young man he is. In fact, Mike Gundy said, have you ever seen him talk? He actually has Gavin. Yeah, he has his Davis is back deep, awaiting the kick. He'll take it from his 5. On what will be the final play potentially of the quarter. And a great stop by Lindsey Pipkins, the graduate transfer from ULM. Mansfield, Texas native, makes the play. One of the seniors on display as this young man, James Washington. What an outstanding junior performer this youngster from tiny Stanford, Texas is. Big time. Cowboys lead by 10 again. Well, they use these chants. Pistols firing and guns up. Yeah. For these two schools. So to say this is a shootout is not politically incorrect. Well, that's what we've got.
Absolutely on the point. And again, James Washington is doing it once again. 117 yards last week, 82 collected on the one big play that we just saw a minute ago for another score. This guy is a machine. He had to wait long and a hard time for that particular opportunity. But when it came in bunches.
Jonathan Giles takes that crossing pattern out to the 30-yard line for a first down. You know, you used a tennis analogy earlier on James Washington, and also when Texas Tech had held Oklahoma State to 3. We're going to go back to that on Washington in a moment. Mahomes, this is where he's really dangerous.
Wow.
Beautifully done to Cameron Batson. He just finds guys when he's outside the pocket. Trey Flowers makes the stop. That's a 13-yard gain.
It's one thing to throw the ball across your body, but he's going the opposite direction and finds a guy in the middle of the field from the numbers. That's a
2nd and 14. Mahomes under pressure. What a pass. Cuty's got it. And now we're seeing some of those plays from Mahomes that you usually see 3 or 4 times. The wow plays. Now they're coming into vogue.
And Jordan Burton, number 20, is working underneath those crossing routes as Mahomes gets that ball away. He's trying to figure out what the heck just happened there. He's in close proximity, but the bottom line is he's made another play. 3 consecutive Houdini-esque type plays by number 5.
From the 46 of Oklahoma State. Looking for Cutie, did not get turned around, and I think the ball actually wound up closer to Dylan Cantrell than it did to Kiki Cutie.
I think Dylan pulled up on that a little bit. He probably should have kept going. And again, I know that's what Mahomes saw. He wanted to go deep on the out.
Both of them were in the general area.
Yep.
2nd and 10.
Late blitz pressure.
Well, there had to be some contact there. Yes, Batson was interfered with by Trey Flowers.
Yeah, Trey clicked his heels there. He knows it. And
pass interference. Defense. Number 31. Spot foul. Automatic. First down.
You can see the route right there on the outside. He gets that left hand and pulls him back around. And Batson, you can see his body kind of give in to Trey Flowers as he took that hand and jerked him around.
1st and 10 from the 22. Quentin White remains the setback and Batson in motion. Wide receiver screen to Batson. He reverses his field, and now Mahomes sets a block for him. And he vaults himself inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. Well, that was quite an ad-lib job from Cameron Batson.
Yeah, but when they look at that from the all-22, if you're going to reverse your field, you might as well head to the far side. You had a blocker who's willing to block, and your quarterback standing over there on the opposite side. If you're going to reverse your field, you got to make sure that the angles are proper. And he had more land to navigate on the outside if he would have continued.
2nd down and a long 5. Empty backfield. Mahomes has plenty of room, and he knows where the sticks are. 1st down. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Red Raiders just inside the 10. 8-yard pickup there.
Oklahoma State had pressure dialed up late, but again, it was just 3 guys that was generating that pressure. As Cliff looks on, he's got a sense that he's got an opportunity with the field here now. Some miscommunication by Oklahoma State getting personnel on the field.
By field, you mean to the bottom of your screen,
to the
right?
to the wide side. The field is where the most yards between the sideline and where the play is set up. Boundary will be the short side. There you go.
In the corner, Cutie. Out of bounds. He dropped it too. But you don't have a lot of foul ground there. In defense of any receiver in this stadium, and both are down. Now that's padded over there. Trey Flowers also down. They'll both be slow to get up. But that padding alone with the speed with which they are running into that wall cannot be enough to break the pain when you make contact with it.
Yeah, you're running a post or a corner route in that particular situation. I mean, you're right there. You're sitting. It's an intimate place, great to watch a game. But if you're a player and you're trying to navigate, looking and sighting that ball and tracking it.
Spencer, that was an outstanding defensive play. Flowers got his hand in there and knocked it free right in here. Watch. Ball is being knocked away. Cutie thought he could have it and then retain it. I mean, it's like football's version of Fenway Park.
Yeah, I think the
2nd and goal.
The wall gets a pass defense on that too.
Mahomes looking for some help. Just throws it away in the general direction of Giles. His receivers were doing all they could to come back and help him.
You know, a point we've made a lot of times when Cliff Kingsbury has his quarterback down in this area. For most quarterbacks, conventional quarterback, a third of your playbook is going to go out of the window. But for Mahomes, it actually expands because of his mobility. And then when you add the creative playmaking he's already demonstrated on this series, it sure puts a lot of stress on the defense to defend this guy.
3rd and goal. Here he goes again. He got a block. Up for grabs in the end zone. Incomplete.
Wow.
Everett knocked it down. You know, Glenn Spencer made a comment to us, the defensive coordinator, about how many jump balls that Mahomes will throw. He said, you know, I'm a little surprised he doesn't have more passes picked off. I think his receivers do a nice job of becoming defenders when they have to.
Yeah, but there's some passes, you're right, Timmy, but this one was ill-advised. He should have never thrown this one, had too much air under it. And you're right, those guys are coached up to become defenders on that play, but then he's fortunate that that one's not picked off. Everett is back there in the deep zone, dropping back. He doesn't have much vertical as a linebacker, but certainly those guys covering on the back end could jump and pluck that one out of the air.
Only 8 interceptions for him this season, 27 yards this kick, and it's right through the uprights for Hatfield. And when you consider how many touchdowns he's thrown to have only 8 picks is something. Well, Everett says A-OK. We got the ball to the ground and held them to 3. A majestic sunset here at Boone Pickens Stadium matches with the color scheme inside this facility that Boone has spent so much of his hard-earned money on. Oh, and onside. Onside, and they got it. They did. They absolutely got it, and it's Amendola who kicked it that's on top of it.
Wow.
Oh, Barden, I beg your pardon, not Amendola. So they went with Barden rather than Amendola because they went onside, and he pulled it off. Listen, that's 3 trick plays, and they've all worked to perfection.
Well, it's part of their DNA, and again, you made the comment earlier that it's not really a risk in certain situations. If you don't have the hands teams out there, why not go for it? That's an outstanding call.
They didn't pick up on the fact that Amendola wasn't kicking, and I mean that's what happened. Barden handled that, and he was beautiful, and he stayed with it and got the recovery.
Yeah, Barden's a great athlete. By the way. You can tell the way he's put together. Got down there and navigated it effectively.
Stopped back at the 32-yard line again. Great penetration from Darian Daniels, 79.
Darian Daniels was not fooled at all by this ISO. It's almost like a lag draw when you're trying to get everybody working the speed rush to the direction that you open up. But he wasn't fooled on that play at all.
2nd and 11 after the loss. Pressure off the corner. It's Justin Phillips.
Justin Phillips came down late out of his safety position. Hey, 19. He was right there, man, all over the quarterback. Mahomes didn't have a chance, and he brought him down with intentionality.
3rd and 20. And with just 4 and change remaining, they may want to pick up about half of it here and go on 4th down. Chances of getting the ball back against Oklahoma State, not always the easiest. Mahomes, beautifully done to Batson for a 1st down. How about that? Out to the 48-yard line. Cameron Batson, a 23-yard gain. Jordan Burton made the tackle. 20 yards, no big deal. Swing it out to Jonathan Giles. Jonathan Giles. That's 33 yards.
Averett brings him down, but not before a huge gain. And again, that 2-play sequence there just shows you not just Giles' athleticism and speed to run away from folks, but Mahomes' capability to create. He's been doing it all day.
I don't know if he came down on top of the ball or if maybe there's a hamstring issue here, but he had to take himself out of the game. White stays in the backfield. Clinton White. Well, they're doing this down to their 3rd tailback, too. I mean, DeLeon Ward didn't even make the trip. Texas Tech playing strong down the stretch and making Oklahoma State earn it if they're going to get it at home and win their 8th straight against the Red Raiders.
Well, Cliff is finding windows down here because, again, they're still in the 3-man front. Over the guards, there's no one there to contest the short run game.
2nd and 4.
See these holes right here, Tim, versus a 3 front? That's inviting someone to run, particularly on a 2nd down and 4 with yards to give.
Right on cue. And White burrows down about a yard shy of the 1st down.
See, again, they'll spin that play on a 2nd and 4, 2nd and as long as it's below 5, they'll take that every single day. You've got to do something to affect them, and that you either bring a safety down or bring a linebacker and put them in that gap and bail them out if you want to, but you really are inviting them there. And this is another invitation.
3rd down and 2. Line to make just outside the 10-yard line. Wow. Batson is in the slot to the top of your screen. Mahomes has room. Intended for Batson. Markers down in the end zone. Should be interference. Trey Flowers was providing the coverage, number 31.
Pass interference. Defense number 31. Foul toward the end zone. By rule, ball be placed at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal.
Well, it's a lot to ask these guys. You can see him. He's got his jersey all over. Those white jerseys and those hands on the back of it, you can see it. They'll catch it every single time. It's so tough to ask a big safety, particularly a strong safety, to cover a cat receiver like that in open field. That's tough for that long, lanky safety.
2 minutes left. First and goal from the 2, and Quentin White remains in the backfield with Mason Reed, 29. Nothing doing. In fact, stuffed a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage there. Back at the 5-yard line, Jordan Stearns with the penetration.
Stearns is the free safety. Number 13 says nothing lucky about this when you come in here. And they did the Oklahoma State front to an uneven look, meaning there's everybody that's covered on one side and one gap opposite of where the flow of the play is coming. The net of it is they ran right into the teeth of the defense.
Second and goal. Let's see what happens here. Bootleg action. Mahomes with some room on his own. Just before he could reach for the pylon, he was knocked out. Are they going to give him touchdown? I think they did. The linesman has come over and said touchdown. It's such tight quarters over there, it's really difficult to tell, but the linesman gave him the pylon. If the ball hits the pylon, it's touchdown. It did. Touchdown. Touchdown. Ball hits the pylon, it's touchdown.
After reviewing the play, the runner's knee was down out of bounds short of the goal line. Going to be third down at the 1-foot line.
Cliff Kingsbury had ample time to go over what he wanted.
Yeah, he's got a decision to make here too, and then to go for 1 or 2 if they get in. That's
interesting point. First, they've got to get in.
Yep, they got to get in, but he's got a decision to make after that.
Touchdown, White. Gosh, you got to give them a lot of credit. Down to their 3rd back. You could argue that it's their 4th back with the injury to Felton. No DeLeon Ward. White had been used more as a fullback than anything else in recent memory whenever they had one of those in their alignment. They are going to go for the extra point and play for overtime here. Wow. Hatfield will come in for the extra point. Unless, of course, he fakes it. He's 3 for 3 with trick plays today. Ooh, did he miss it? He missed it.
Oh my goodness.
How about that? Well, he was 1 of 1 from field goals from a week ago. Had a game-winning 37-yarder against TCU 2 games back. Had not missed a college field goal inside of 40 in his career coming in to today's game.
I mean, he just opened his face on it like a club.
Right.
Wow.
That's why every play counts. And it's amazing, isn't it, how many times this guy has dodged it?
What was his
in this program? It's amazing.
He told us yesterday there are 3 things: show no fear, no fatigue, or no frustration.
Right. Again, as we said, had not missed a college football field goal inside the 40-yard area in his career, and misses that extra point. You have to feel for that young man.
Somebody's got to get in his ear, because that kind of stuff can stay with you a long time.
It can. Washington on top of it.
Yeah, no chance.
The Hands team brings it in at the 45-yard line, and now David Gibbs' defense has to do something that is a very difficult chore in this conference on the road, and that's get a stop.
Yeah, the Good Hands team is on, and again, he's been limited. The long, big play and the touchdown withstanding, but no play more significant than that one right there for number 28, James Washington, tonight. And again, Hatfield's reaction to that, just sucks the life right out of you, man. Wow. Feel for that young man.
Chris Carson is the lone setback on first down. We'll go back, Spencer, when we have a moment and look at that kick again. Chris Carson with a healthy gain to the 28. Sometimes in situations like that, you wonder if the hold was not a problem for the kicker. And Cameron Batson, watch if the ball moves at all.
You
when
always
Batson,
try to look at the lace.
Right there.
Yeah, it did move late. The
Slightly.
Ball, it opened
a
up.
very slight move.
The ball leaned toward the holder.
Yep.
And it was almost like the face of it on a club.
You did notice that the ball did move, though, and
no
it could take the slightest move that could throw the kicker off.
They were trying to let him score.
Hello.
They were trying to let him score.
You don't think that the coach didn't know that?
Yeah, but see, the problem is when you call that timeout, you're in their head. Now you're saying, don't let him score, but you're aware of it as well.
See,
if he falls down, the clock's going to continue to go.
We were just thinking right along with him.
I tell you, stop him and burn your timeouts and hope that they don't get the first down.
He was thinking right along with us. He's like, fellas, if you don't make the tackle, let the kid go. We need the ball back. And Carson short of the first down.
Timeout.
And another timeout taken by Kingsbury. 3rd and 1. Carson got the first down and immediately took a knee. Did not go for the end zone. Immediately got the first down, took a knee, and that should do it. If you could hold on to the ball. We've seen crazier things happen.
Absolutely.
Haven't we?
Nice form tackle. Carson just laid his shoulder. Heady senior move there. Passing with leverage. Oh my goodness.
Victory formation from the shotgun now. So what do you make of where we are in the Big 12 the rest of the way after this?
I think Oklahoma's a team to beat, but as I just mentioned, 3 of the last 5 have been won by Oklahoma State in the Bedlam Series. We'll see how it plays out.
Let's not forget West Virginia still controls its destiny as well in this conference after their big win today against Texas. Our final score, 45-44. After a missed extra point off a difficult hold between Batson and Clayton Hatfield after a touchdown that seemed to be getting us ready for the potential of overtime had taken place. And the win streak for Oklahoma State continues. They're now 8-2, 6-1 in the Big 12 Conference, and very much in the championship conversation. For Spencer Tillman, Mike Pereira back in Los Angeles, our FS1 crew. Today's game produced by Eric Billigmeyer and directed by Doug Freeman. So long.